The Nintendo Switch. What do you want me to say? Because I remember back in October, Jay and I had words. We had words about that thing because at the time, I know I can admit that I was confused about the message that video tried to portray to me for someone who is a cynic first and I'll believe you once I see it later. We are at the portion where see it later and I believe in this thing. I'm like, I really see in this thing Nintendo has learned their lessons. They have learned their lessons and it shows at what this thing is and what it engrosses and encompasses and what it wants to be. Is that looking at it from, a squinty-eyed point of view and a little head tilt, is that the Nintendo Switch is a celebration of everything that came before it, brought together in a way that can propel Nintendo into the future. And to prepare the ultimate losing statement, if it's not that, then it's a hell of a celebration of something and a nice damn swan song for Nintendo that we played out on as they get craned off the fucking stage. See, I prepared both statements just in case. Regardless of that, I watched that presentation and I was fucking amazed at what I saw. And it wasn't that I was amazed at the games or anything. I was amazed at the fact of the thing that we talking about right now. That Nintendo has learned their lesson. Is that let's sit up here and let's stack the game now for what it is. The Nintendo Switch is not going to be some random Wii U phenomenon. We're not going back to the console wars of yesteryear, and this is not going to be some colossal fucking failure that the Wii U allegedly is on name a day of the week. It's none of that. The Switch is going to be its own thing, and looking at what it provides and the games that are immediately coming for it, it's like, I'm like, Breath of the Wild aside, and I'll talk about that towards the end, it's like, the new stuff that they showed, I'm like, I was blown away at Super Mario Odyssey, and I'm like, I'm not really into those types of Mario games. Like, that's just not my way of wanting to enjoy everybody's favorite plumber who saves the day. I'm like, I like what I saw, and that might be the game that gets me to change my mind. I'm like, they finna pop off a new Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm like, I saw that coming, but didn't see that coming so soon. I'm like, they got a new Shin Megami Tensei game. I'm like, both Sonic games are coming to the Switch. I'm like, that was an all-day no-duh. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, one of import's best-kept secrets is coming to America on the damn thing in Puyo Puyo Tetris. And if you haven't played that game, you in for a treat. It's also coming for the PS4 too. I kind of wonder what the Xbox One version is, but Microsoft is worried about shit. I'm like, they got this guy up 5 coming for this thing. I'm like, Mario Kart 8 is more Mario Kart with Inklings now. And speaking of Inklings, Splatoon 2 is more of what you want in Splatoon 1, but the only thing I want from Splatoon is Cali, because it's Cali gang all day, so fuck what you heard. So I'm like, that arms look hot, and even though they didn't announce the Smash Brothers game that we know is coming, expect to see one of those characters in Smash alongside an Inkling and possibly some other things. I'm like, that 1-2 switch, that looks like that's trying to be the Wii Sports pack in of the thing that that understanding and learning how your system works and shit like that. I'm like, when it comes to giving the streets what they want, and before I mentioned that, I just randomly thought about Project Octopath Travel. I'm like, that look hot. That's, from what I understand, from what I read, is that it's made by the people who made one of my favorite RPGs in a very long time in Bravely Default, so that's gonna be hot. But two things that I saw that the streets getting what they want: Fire Emblem Warriors And oh, the Lord himself, Suda 51, coming from up high and like, yo, Triple, you want some more? There's no more heroes, cuz. And I'm like, yes, my Lord Suda. Yes, I do. Well, here's some more no more heroes for you because, yo, let me take 2 seconds to just say this. And I am going to say this live as fuck. If there are 2 video games that you should play on the Nintendo Wii, those games are No More Heroes 1 and Sin and Punishment Stars Assassin. Tied for my favorite games on the system, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, withstanding. I am excited for more Travis, because, yo, my nigga, say that live. I said it. What we saw at the end of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that was amazing. It's like, it's the majesty of this video game series that I love, but blown up in a way that shows gravitas, in a way that Zelda could always be. And that's not taken away from, from the past games in the series that I've enjoyed, but Breath of the Wild is on another fucking level. And I'm like, I really haven't really been paying attention to the hype cycle for the game, but having that shoved in my face, yes, I'd like to play more of this. Yes, I would. Yes, the fuck I would. I'm like, in that little montage toward the end, Ultra Street Fighter 2, the final challenges. And from my understanding, from the 3 or 4 pieces I've looked at, it's some version of HD Remix that has Evil Ken, not Violent Ken, and Evil Ryu in it, and it's just like, okay. My question is, can I still juggle Tiger Knees with Sagat? Because that's the only thing that I care about when I play HD Remix. Can I juggle Tiger Knees? That's important to me. A little disappointment of a little deflation was at the end when they were showing that sizzle reel, and they showed what I thought was F-Zero for half a second, and then I got on the internet and realized it was Fast Racing Neo. Great game, just not F-Zero. It's like no Metroid being shown. I'm like, they didn't show nothing about the Smash, so things are coming. I'm like, I'll say this, and I will say this live, and I will repeat it, and try to emphasize what it is that I'm trying to say. The Nintendo Switch seems to be Nintendo learning, adapting, and evolving. Is that they put it all out on the table. And again, like I say, I wish back in October when me and Jay Flynn boasted the fuck out this thing for giggles and shits and laughs, that this is what was presented to me. Because in hindsight, when I think about the video in my head, you were showing me exactly what it was that I need to see, but I was blind to see it. But now that it's in front of me, like, I want this. I don't $300 want this, because I'm not sitting up here, and that's like when I think about it, because I'm just funneling the thoughts in my head. But this has nothing to do with the Wii U and being brought on anything like that. It's just that I know that it is going to be a journey, a trek, a murder session, you name it. This thing is going to be off the shelves for a while, for a minute. So if you ain't getting one day one, then you ain't getting one for a while. And because of the backlog and all the things and my time constraints and stuff like that, I don't have time to try to get into something. Like, yo, ain't none of this stuff going nowhere. None of this stuff is going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere at all. And random thought I just had in my head, because I'm thinking that I know I didn't mention it. What? There's a new Shin Megami Tensei game. I love those. So, good for that. My thing is, and I'm just going, just finish this point so we can get up out of here. Again, this really seems to be Nintendo truly buckling down and learning their lesson. So either the lesson learned is going to be we gonna have many more years of Nintendo, or this could be the swan song of a great game developer, of great game creators. It could go either way, because my prediction is still the same that I said it 2-3 years ago. Somebody's not walking away from this alive within the next 5 to 10 years. Somebody's not. It's like with the weird stuff going on with Scalebound, and we'll get into that some other time, and and the Nintendo Switch being what it is that somebody is not walking away from this alive. And I hate to use the end of this to bring it down into it, but I have to think in realistic terms. Is this thing is amazing. The things that are coming for it look amazing. I'm like, and random thing I just thought about, there's a fucking Bomberman game coming for this thing. See, just spouting thoughts. But the point still stands, though. Point still stands. This is going to be amazing. You won the day, Nintendo. You have taken cynic old me and shown me that there's something to this Nintendo Switch thing that I'm willing to give it an opportunity on my time schedule and not on yours. That's fair to say. I'm like, before we get out of here, I'm going to say this, and I'm glad I say this for the end of the video, is this was supposed to be a tag team session with me and Jay. This was Jay's idea. I'm like, I mentioned it, like, yo, we doing something for the Switch? He was like, hell yeah, call me anytime, man, we gonna do it. This nigga done disappeared off the face of the fucking earth. So I'm gonna have to get him on a whole separate session and let him spit it and let him spit his venom. And if Evil Freak got something to say, I'm gonna let him spit too. So that's how we gonna do it. I'm just like, when Jay went up, I'm like, fuck it, man, I better do something or ain't nothing gonna get done. So here's the something. But that's it. That's all. Nintendo, I will say it one more time. You are taking cynic old one, the cynic, the one and the only triple to G.O.D, the cynic in me, and made me a believer in what it is that you're trying to do, right, wrong, or otherwise. You've learned your lesson. You are adapting. You are evolving. And even weirdly enough that they're going to finally make you pay for some damn internet connectivity using your damn smartphone. So much for that Super Mario Run shit, I guess. But I'm like, with all this information, there's a lot more that needs to be, hashed out and looking at taken care of. And they're going to be doing the Nintendo Switch all weekend. So I guarantee that I am definitely not done with this subject, especially when they start revealing more stuff, because I'm really interested to see what's going on, especially with that Ultra Street Fighter 2. So, I'm really interested in that and to see whatever else the hell going to come out. But March the 3rd, that is going to be a day. And we're going to see what comes about it. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get out of here, turn this into a video. You know what I'm saying? Got you on the usual tracks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Got all the crack cool out. Talked about the new episode of XA. Whatever Ruby happens and all this other stuff I got planned out. So, you be watching for that. With all of that being said, I am, of course, the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks. And with that, we'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.